Welcome to Carolina Varsity's 2012 look at the NCHSAA playoffs. We're now looking at the 3AA game, and this is going to be Statesville versus South Point. My first comment on this game is that, well, first, Max Preps is predicting a 46-45 South Point game. We don't have a lot of information on South Point other than we have a guy that writes an article every week, and I thank you, Anthony, for doing that. So every week we have an article from the South Point game that's up, and I talked to Anthony yesterday about his thoughts on the game, and I'm going to just kind of share some of the things. I think we both came to a conclusion that, one, I think this is going to be a barn burner. A lot of points are going to be scored in this ball game. I also think that this could potentially be a last team with the ball wins ball game. Of course, we know South Point traditionally is just a run team. Some things about Statesville. Well, of course, South Point got here by beating Crest last week. Hard to beat a good team twice. They did it. And of course, Statesville being a big rival. Not Statesville, excuse me, Crest being a big rival. Statesville brings in a very balanced offense. Now, they might be a little slight lean to the run, but their offensive yardage for the season is almost identical on run and pass. So at least from yardage-wise, they're fairly balanced. Play calling-wise, usually I think that probably means a 2-to-1 balance in plays. 2 runs to every pass, one pass, probably for that kind of yardage. Statesville is a very athletic team. They could be a very dangerous team. I think clearly could be the best team that South Point's faced this year. Crest, very good ball team, but I think Statesville is as good or better team. I think that the South Point fans were hoping they might see Irwin in a passing game more than what they're going to see out of Statesville. Personally, it's hard for me to call this game. I have been leaning towards South Point all through the playoffs to be the team that wins 3AA. I still kind of think that they may be. I'm picking South Point in a one-score ball game. That one score could be 3 points, but I don't think it's going to be much more than a 7-point ball game. I really do believe that this game could come down to last man with the ball is going to win.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dale. I'm going to harken back to the first round game where we were talking about Barry putting up 25 on South Point. That was a big red flag to me. If Barry puts up 25 on South Point, Statesville is going to be able to put up a lot more. And Irwin, you mentioned, has beaten South Point in the past using the spread passing game, and I think Statesville is going to take that same exact blueprint. And funny, they just beat Irwin last week in the playoffs, and I think they're going to go down there, and I think they're going to try to spread it out and use those athletes in space. And South Point has trouble with that. South Point, you know what you're going to get. Bray, I believe he's the fullback in that red bone option attack. Had a great game last week. He rushed for almost 400 yards, which is awesome. Set a county record. Statesville, they're not going to stop. You're not going to stop them. They're going to get their yards. But the key is South Point's going to have to, grind in that offense, and they're used to it. But when you grind out 8-10 plays and get a score, Statesville has the capability of coming back and scoring in 2 plays. And that quick strike ability, I think, is going to carry them to a victory over South Point this week. And, I hate to say it, South Point is a great team, but something's going to have to give in order to stop these athletic teams from having success against them, because that's kind of been a detriment to them the past couple of years here. So I'm predicting Statesville, and I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a one-score game. And it's a great environment down there in Belmont also. I think they redid the stadium down there. It's very nice. And if you're with Statesville, I'd say get there early, because it's going to be crazy traffic trying to get into that stadium.
It's hard to get out of there, get in and out. It is Don't know what all renovations they've done. If they've done anything for parking, doubtful. And the Belmont will turn out for this ball game.
Yeah.
Statesville's not a very good traveling team, from what I understand. But we'll see. I would highly recommend any of you Statesville fans that happen to see this. It is a good environment to see a ball game in Belmont, and your team's got an awful good chance of winning this ball game. I think we're gonna. Would you agree that you think it's going to be a 30s and 40s
Oh,
ball
definitely,
game?
definitely. I think South Point has the offense that it's hard to stop. I mean, Chris saw it twice and couldn't slow it down. And so that tells you a lot. If you're able to run on a team like that, that's a rival, and you know what they're going to do. There's no secret about it. And you still can't stop it. That's a great offense. But that being said, Statesville also has a great offense. And
Right.
They beat West Rowan earlier this season, who is a potent run team as well. So I think that bodes well on their chances in this one.
Well, I don't remember the exact numbers, but as I was looking things up on Statesville and Irwin, the results on that game, I read a comment, and I may not be exactly accurate on the numbers, but Statesville has outscored their opponents, Inca and Irwin, in the playoffs, 69-14, I think it was, in the fourth quarter.
Oh wow!
So Statesville had to. Game was played close with Irwin last week up through the third quarter, and then had to have a big fourth quarter to win the ball game. They had it, they got it, they did it. That tells you how explosive that offense can be.
And that also tells you they're making great adjustments in the second half.
Right.
And that's a sign of a really, really good team.
Exactly. You see good teams that score their points in the first two quarters and then seem to struggle with getting points in the second half. Always that's because the other coach has made an adjustment. He's out-adjusted the team that was scoring. So, a lot of these teams that, make it this far, you see they have great first halves and then they have not so great second halves. It's the teams that can have great second halves and fourth quarters that win third and fourth round ball games and state championships.
Yes, sir.
So, should be a great game in Belmont. The Red Raiders and the Greyhounds.